Good evening, everyone. As we prepare for the grand finale of SphinxConnect 2021, I'm filled with inspiration and deep thought. I'm drawn to so many moments of musical celebrations, the brilliance of our artists, and the many lessons from the conversations led by our sector's most courageous and pioneering leaders. As you sit back in anticipation of our next speaker's offerings, I simply urge you to reflect back on my very first question from day one. What will I do for unity today? I can tell you that I'm thinking about how I might help set aside the fears that my colleagues feel about disrupting the status quo and needing to tread carefully and build more consensus. We know that that time has passed, but the time for leadership through actionable change is here, and that we cannot let it pass us by, not this time. I want to invite you to write me personally after this convening and share your answers of what one thing you may do differently for unity this time. You may do so on email, text, or letter. I cannot wait to read your answers and talk more about it. It is with grand pleasure that I introduce to you now our closing plenary speaker. As a multi-genre recording artist and instrumentalist, Damien Sneed is a pianist, vocalist, organist, composer, conductor, arranger, producer, and an arts educator whose work spans multiple genres. He has worked with the late Aretha Franklin and Jesse Norman, as well as Wynton Marsalis, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, Ashford and Simpson, Janae Bridges, Larry Brownlee, and so many others. Damien has served as music director for Grammy Award-winning gospel artists, the Clark Sisters, Rachel Smallwood, Donnie McClurkin, Marvin Sapp, Karen Clark Sheard, and so many others. Last year, he embarked on his 40-city North American tour, We Shall Overcome, a celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., featuring Damien Sneed. He is the founder and artistic director of Chorale Le Chateau, which has gained a global reputation for its vivid interpretations of vocal literature ranging from Renaissance period pieces to art songs and jazz and spiritual and gospel. He is featured on the recording of Wynton Marsalis's Abyssinian Mass as a conductor, and last year he made his debut with the Sphinx Virtuosi at Carnegie Hall's Isaac Stern Auditorium. During the previous season, Damien served as music director, composer in residence, and cover conductor for the staff of Houston Grand Opera. And today, he continues to lead as an educator, artist, and an advocate. It gives me a particular pleasure to also say that we celebrate his birthday today, which he chose to celebrate with his Sphinx family. We are so honored to welcome the recipient of the 2014 Sphinx Medal of Excellence, Damien Sneed.
Practicing 10 minutes instead of 5 on the chord. You got behind the suite. You were supposed to have done 5 minutes extra on the chord, so that means 10 minutes instead of 5. Okay? And in the pieces, you were supposed to practice 10 minutes extra, so that means 15 minutes instead of 5. And chords and keys, you're supposed to do 5 minutes extra, so that means 10 minutes instead of 5. Okay?
So what would that all be if you added it together?
6 hours and 30 minutes. It's 4 hours. No, weekly.
Thank you, Afa Dworkin, for that most heartfelt and poignant introduction. I am humbled to have this opportunity to address my colleagues, mentors, fellow Sphinx organization family members, and all of the Sphinx organization's SphinxConnect 2021 delegates. You just saw a video I created in tribute to the woman who helped birth me into the world of music, one who nurtured my gifts and talents on the piano, stressed the importance of being knowledgeable about the history of music, increased my aptitude in the areas of music theory and ear training, one who fostered the aesthetic of healthy and balanced competition to propel my trajectory as a budding performer, while at a very young age, and most of all, one who instilled within me the drive and impetus to solely rely on hard work mixed with diligent practice while remaining cloaked in humility as a sure path to success in life and in my career in the music industry. Lydia Perot Millam. My piano teacher from 4th grade until I matriculated into Howard University as an undergraduate piano major. Mrs. Perot, as she was so affectionately called, recently passed on July 27th, 2020, at the age of 89, after a long and courageous battle with Alzheimer's disease. I remember my mother's battle with that same disease, and she passed on November 3rd, 2015, the year after I received the Sphinx Medal of Excellence Award in March of 2014. I can hear Miss Perot, my piano teacher, saying to me now, "Damien, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice." I want to take a moment to honor her because we should always take a moment to pause, to take a Selah moment, and to look back on all those who have helped us along the way, whether it be family members, neighbors, friends, music teachers, and that strong sense of community in our respective villages, which gave us the courage to one day stand out on the stage in front of hundreds or thousands to play the piano, to sing an aria, to pluck a string, to beat a drum, as well as those who secure the most ergonomic seating in a hall with their acoustical engineering skills. Those whom each artist so desperately needs and depends upon on the control of the sound, not only so the artist can hear, but so each and every person in a performance receives the exact same experience orally. Also to those who change the gels on each light fixture, and the stage hands who make sure every entrance and exit comes across smoothly and professionally. To the graphic artists, the web designers, the social media gurus, and the publicists who make sure our brands are always succinct, clear, and bedazzled in excellence. To all of you, whatever role or part you play, I speak on behalf of every facet of the music industry. Thank you. In preparing the theme for this closing plenary, Moving Forward in Unity, I was watching the season finale of one of my favorite television series, Star Trek, Discovery. I was watching over Hulu during the holiday break, and I could not help but notice a closing quote displayed on the screen from the Star Trek's creator, Gene Roddenberry. It stated, "In a very real sense, we are all aliens on a strange planet. We spend most of our lives reaching out and trying to communicate. If, during our whole lifetime, we could reach out and really communicate with just 2 people, we are indeed very fortunate. As sentient beings, I agree that we reach out to each other for connectivity, light, love, and understanding. Those are just some of the positive effects of unity." Next, I would like to share with you a performance video of Max Reger's transcription of Morgan by Strauss, perhaps one of his most moving art songs. This recording comes from Black Opera Productions film, Jesse Norman at 75, produced by Jonathan Estabrooks, Miranda Platt, and Kenneth Overton. Before we watch this film, I'd like to share with you the lyrics of Morgan. It could be something that we could also think about moving forward in unity together with as the COVID pandemic subsides. The words are by John Henry Marquet. And tomorrow, the sun will shine again, and on the path that I will follow, it shall again unite us, happy ones, upon this sun-breathing earth, and to the wide shore with its blue waves, we will quietly and slowly descend. Speechless, we shall look into each other's eyes, and upon us will descend the muted silence of happiness. Morgan by Strauss. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. How about you? We are currently faced with a myriad of issues and struggles. However, the past 10 to 11 months have literally tried every construct, foundation, and even relationship that we may have all taken for granted as being solid, functional, and valid. Seemingly almost everything that can be shaken has been shaken. Many of you, like me, have lost loved ones. For example, just this past Friday, December 18th, I lost my cousin at 7:30 a.m. in Augusta, Georgia. And then in Michigan at 8:30 a.m., my godmother transitioned, who was also my LeChateau Earl Records co-founder, Bishop Iona Locke, who always supported my every endeavor. Yet, I continued to forge ahead in an attempt to move forward in unity while working, while performing, and while trying to exist and live. With the impact of COVID-19, this pandemic that we find ourselves in, with the intense political upheaval that has taken place here in the United States of America, and even if I isolated one incident, for example, the untimely death of George Floyd and a countless number of other individuals whose lives were wrongfully taken, all of those things caused me to look back upon our ancestors. And I'm reminded of the words of the great poet, Langston Hughes. His poem, I Dream a World. It says, I dream a world where man, no other man will scorn, where love will bless the earth, and peace its paths adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free. Where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy, like a pearl, attends the needs of all mankind. Of such, I dream a world. We have all been through extreme trauma and pain. So a few months ago, in response to the world's current political climate, the recurring issues stemming from the injustices of systemic racism, and the fact that human beings are still struggling for their rights to be seen as equal around the globe, I got together with a few of my friends, singers Shanae Campbell, Tiffany Stevenson, Lenny Smith, and Mattia Washington, musicians Cedric Marsh on percussion, Brandon Williams on Hammond B3 organ, Justin Cunningham on electric bass, and David Daniels on lead guitar. We came together and recorded my arrangement of this well-known song of protest and reconciliation that was featured during the civil rights era, but I felt like the melody and the lyrical content needed to be echoed once again. Please enjoy my arrangement of "Oh, Freedom." Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, over me, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, and go home to my Lord and be free. There will be singing, yes there will, la 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 la, da 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 da. There will be singing over me, over me, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, go home to my Lord and be free. No more shooting, no more shooting, no more shooting, no more shooting over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, and go home to my Lord and be free. No more killing, no more killing because of the color of my skin. No more killing. Down. I'll be buried. I'll be buried. I'll be buried. I'll be buried in my grave. And go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, to my Lord and be free. Oh, yeah. And be free, oh, and be free. I'd like to share this quote from the co-producer and recording engineer for my first recording, Jeff Jones. He said, the most important thing to remember is that a live mix embodies the energy of the recording in spite of its mix problems. In spite of technology, there's no way to recreate that mix and its effects to the psyche because they are subtle but powerful. It is a deeply sensitive thing, Jeff Jedi Jones said. He said, when it is possible, it's better to add the missing elements to this exact mix that will maintain the integrity and the imprint of the soul of the recording experience. All the souls who participated, which is a very important thing. This is very key. Listen to this. The mistakes actually add personality. The deficiencies, which make the picture imperfect, are part of the frame of a vignette through which we experience the unfolding story. The excitement of the story unfolding is what we seek in the listening experience, and it makes us want to listen again and again. Therefore, it is extremely timely for me to have this opportunity to speak to each of you virtually via the technological innovation of real-time streaming to your devices, whether they be cell phones, iPads, computers, or your smart TVs. Why, you may ask? Because today happens to be the culmination of several capstone events, which will forever be etched in the annals of history and remembered in our hearts for years to come. After today, Saturday, January 30th, 2021, the Sphinx organization, founded in 1997 by Aaron Dworkin, with the goal of addressing the underrepresentation of people of color in classical music, now led by President and Artistic Director Afa S. Dworkin, closes the door on 24 years of existence and now opens a new chapter to enter the dispensation of 25 years, a capstone. Sphinx programs reach more than 100,000 students and artists, as well as live broadcasting to audiences of more than 2 million annually. I am a recipient of the Sphinx Medal of Excellence and the Empower Grant. So because Aaron Dworkin had a vision 24 years ago, now artists like myself can have the platform to express ourselves creatively and to continue in the legacy of the Sphinx organization. With that being said, never despise small and meager beginnings. You know, today also falls on an extremely significant capstone moment for me, my birthday. Today is a celebration for my revolutions around the sun. Damien Sneed, one who was adopted, one whose parents were told that he should be placed, that I should be placed in special education and given medications because I was mute. I didn't speak until the age of 3.5, 4 years old. And when I did start speaking, I had a horrible stutter. They told my parents that I should be in special ed because I was also on the spectrum of autism. But my parents never gave up. So any parents out there, I'm here to admonish you to not give up on your children. We cannot give up on the youth. We cannot give up on the next generation. Instead, my parents had me tested again and again and again. And because my mother was an elementary school teacher, because my father was also an elementary school teacher with a specialization in educating those with special needs. My father had me tested again, and they found that my IQ was extremely high, and I began excelling in music. Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started speaking clearly and properly. I want to take a moment to say thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad. Although you no longer exist here in the earth on this plane, I know that you are always looking down on me from above. I have found that life is replete with full circle moments, whether it be mantras, meditation, knowledge, one's faith, or simply the school of experience. We all know that we are guided each day into our next, into the unknown, and into our various places of manifested destiny. As I think about my Sphinx family, Aaron Dworkin and Afa Dworkin, I am honored to introduce my dear friend who I met many years ago while studying at the Manhattan School of Music. She is a fellow Sphinx Medal of Excellence recipient. She is the winner of the Marian Anderson Award and one who has performed for the Metropolitan Opera, the Washington National Opera, San Francisco Opera, La Scala, and more. Mezzo-soprano, my friend, Janae Bridges. We recorded this video a few months ago for Manhattan School of Music's gala, of which I am very happy to now be a part of the faculty of the Manhattan School of Music. So I hope this video encourages and uplifts you just as much as it did for Janae and I while we recorded it. This is a prayer. Many people hear it sung at weddings. And even if you are not one who ascribes to a faith where you pray, if you meditate, if you read, if you simply exist, let this encourage you. You will see both of us clad with masks to make sure that we were following the COVID protocols for that time. But please enjoy my arrangement of my mentor, Wynton Marsalis's setting of the Lord's Prayer from his Abyssinian Mass, sung by Janae Bridges with me at the piano, the Lord's Prayer. In looking forward, I believe we are all poised to emerge anew while being mobilized to take over. Don't allow the fact that many of us have had to be sequestered during this pandemic. Don't allow that to keep you from dreaming. It is our duty and our responsibility to go out into our world and fill every empty void where the pandemic may have left a vacuum. In the words of my mentor, Wynton Marsalis, artistic director and founder of Jazz at Lincoln Center, multiple Grammy Award winner, Pulitzer Prize winner, artistic director of the Juilliard School's Jazz Arts Program, and CBS cultural correspondent. The main theme of his Abyssinian Mass was the fact that everyone has a place. So today in this closing plenary, I want to let you know that you have a place. Everyone has a place. You have a role. Everyone has a role. You have a voice. Everyone has a voice. I vividly remember walking on the stage of the John F. Kennedy Center of the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. for the first inaugural celebration of former President Barack Obama, hosted by Wynton Marsalis, Jazz at Lincoln Center, and former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, on the theme, Jazz and Democracy. And one thing that we all were aware of, and we kept it as the central focus of that evening of artistic elevation and musical brilliance. The fact that it does not matter what your role may be in the world. It doesn't matter what your title may be in your sector of work. It doesn't matter what school you went to. It doesn't matter what side of the tracks you grew up on. It does not matter how large your house was. It doesn't matter if you take the bus, if you ride a subway, if you ride the train, if you drive a car, or you take a taxi or an Uber or Lyft. It simply does not matter, even what instrument you may play in the orchestra. Your role, your voice, and your part is extremely valuable, needed, and important. Even if you play triangle or second violin, as some may say, second fiddle, your notes are an integral part of the chord, a major part of the musical thread. Your voice, your role, your part holds just as much importance and weight as the other instruments. I'd like to leave you on a note that expresses the transcendent quality of music. The great composer and pianist, Duke Ellington, has a song that we may know called In a Sentimental Mood. This video is from the Black Opera Productions film, Jesse Norman at 75, and it features my friend soprano Brandy Sutton, who recently debuted last year, right before the pandemic shut everything down, as Clara in the Metropolitan Opera's raving production of Porgy and Bess by Gershwin. Njoma Grievous is on violin 1, Chiara Fassi on violin 2, Andrew Griffin on viola, Aaron Stokes on cello, and yours truly, on piano that I arranged for voice, piano, and string quartet. As you listen, reminisce on the days before COVID, when we could go to performances and enjoy music, yet we still can, through recordings, through live streams, through watching videos, and even through personal practice. But allow it to cause you to think about the theme moving forward in unity. Music will be a conduit and a vehicle that will transport us into the future in a sentimental mood. In closing, I'd like to leave you with the words of my beloved mentor who I loved so dearly. Before I was adopted, she sang Moon River at my parents' wedding in Augusta, Georgia. this fellow Augusta, Georgia native, opera legend, someone who was truly and literally larger than life, Jessie Norman, who departed from us on September 30th, 2019. She asked the question, why should one bother to be mediocre? And pigeonholes are only comfortable for pigeons. So I'd like for you to remember those quotes and apply them to your life. Thank you all for listening.
Damien, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, and happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I've admired your work for quite some time, so I'm honored to spend this time with you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Rod Vester, and I serve as the Executive Director for the Prism Ensemble here in Memphis, Tennessee. I am here today to facilitate the question and answer section of our closing plenary. So let's jump in. Damien, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it. So our first question is, this SphinxConnect, like everything in the past year, has been incredibly different as we enter into a new presidency during a time when the pandemic's end is not yet in sight. What might you say to artists struggling during this time?
I'd like to really tell them to forge ahead, to keep going. Throughout history, we can see that the most brilliant art, the most brilliant creation, many times is birthed in obscurity. Many times, as I mentioned about poising to emerge, many times a caterpillar has to go into a cocoon. We have to go into enclosure. We have to go sometimes into what seems like darkness before we're transformed and we're able to stretch out our wings as butterflies and be what we're called to be. So even though things are still looking bleak and we're not completely out of it yet, I want to encourage everyone to hold on just a little while longer. As the song says, everything will be all right. Continue writing, continue listening, and do not allow anything to steal your dreams and to siphon them from your being. Allow your inner muse to sing forth, to come forth in this time.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question. As artists and individuals, how can we ensure that the current moment, when it is popular and trendy to support BIPOC artists, how can we ensure that it is lasting?
There are a number of ways that we can do that. One is by education, by reading and studying to find out all the contributions by BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, and also people from other areas, whether it be Latinx or whether it be Native American, and even outside of America, to understand culture and understand people. But also, we can do that by making sure that we program works by those who are not generally programmed. Also, I'm a champion for female composers, as well as female musicians, female lighting people, everything, but just so that we have a balance and so that our presentation incorporates a very diverse group of people, a diverse representation of what this world really should look like. And I think that's another way that we can do that. And also in making sure that we are constantly allowing ourselves to change, of course, having something to stand for, but being open-minded to make sure that we don't ever become stagnated in our thinking and then become a traditionalist and not be allowed to enter into a newer contemporary way of thinking.
Great. So as you mentioned, striving towards something in your work that you do, is it mission driven? If so, what are you striving toward?
Most definitely it's mission driven. I know one of my biggest directives, my impetus, a driving force for me is to allow people to realize that you don't have to come from the creme de la creme, the cream or the special pick of the crop to be successful. I've had a lot of difficulty along the way. I've had real life situations. People see my story and they see the glory that I may presently be in their eyes, but they don't know the story behind my glory. They don't know all the nights that I suffered and struggled with being depressed, wondering if anyone would want to hear my music, or not having enough self-worth to understand that I could be very individual. And that's one thing that I've had to embrace, is my individuality, and the fact that I represent not just those who have been adopted, but I represent those who were pushed to the back of the line. I represent those who have been marginalized. I represent those who felt like giving up because life got so difficult that you could not see. I could not see at times a light at the end of the tunnel, a pathway to move around the meander around the mountains and move through the valleys. So I know that I represent that. So a lot of my music that I write, no matter what the storyline, it does not have to be religious, but it is inspirational. Whether it be an opera, whether it be something for jazz, whether it be a symphony, my aim is to inspire. My aim is to elevate thinking and make sure that people understand that you can become whatever you want to become. And I also have a strong, strong drive to support education and to support youth. The youth are our future. Wynton Marsalis shared something very, 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 very key with me, and it shifted my life. And I don't usually share that to everyone, but I'll speak it now. He told me, he said, Damien, make sure that you don't get stuck in the way that we think here, where we are in school and we try to please our parents, we try to please those in our community, we try to please our teachers, we try to graduate and get a diploma from high school and then get a college degree and then get a job and get all these accoutrements and things that we want to add to our docket and we want to place on the wall. He said, because many times in our forward thinking, we're tunnel minded and we have a tunnel vision. And so we only think about moving forward and pleasing those who are ahead of us. He said, but you're going to look around one day and those that were before you will have retired or they will have moved off the scene. And then he said, when you look at your peers, many times your peers will be trying to get this very same positions that you have. He said, so it's very important to look forward to the generations that will be behind you and that are coming up behind you, because sometimes those will be the very people who will hire you, the very people who will support you, and the very persons who will cause you to remain inspired. So I want to admonish people as well. That's one thing I try to do. I love to reach back to tradition and reach back to those who I'm allowed to step on their shoulders and I'm able to stand and have equal strong footing because of what they've done in the path before me. And I also want to make sure I'm always connected and stay in a place of humility with those who are my peers and colleagues. But also I want to make sure I'm always giving a young person or even a person who may not be so young, but one who's never had an opportunity. So when I go to Carnegie Hall, I try to always bring someone that's never been there. When I go perform out at an outdoor festival, I try to bring someone who's never been there. And I'm always making sure that I'm in a place of being didactic to make sure I'm teaching and passing on to the next generation all that was passed on to me by my mentors, by my ancestors, my family, my community, and those who came before.
Excellent. Very inspiring. Thank you. So when we think about responsibility, you're talking about the responsibility that you have. So a question that we have here is, who do you think bears the responsibility of holding institutions accountable for the histories of exclusion, particularly in light of the statements and promises to do better?
Firstly, I think it's held to the students. Many revolutions historically happened on college campuses and at universities. I tell all of my students in my classes that you cannot sit back and stand by and allow someone to give you a syllabus or give you a curriculum and then you take it. Not that you become a problem or an issue or stick out like a sore thumb or become a thorn in the administration's flesh, but you need to make sure that you are having a complete, full understanding of each course that you're taking and find out, especially if you're at a university, is there a course that's somewhere on the books that can be rejuvenated, can be revived? What is it that you actually want to do? You are not, as Jesse Norman said, only pigeons can be pigeonholed. A lot of times people like to make us exist within a box or be a cookie cutter artist. You cannot be. And now with the way things are changing, you have to really challenge what's happening around you, but also to the faculty. It is our job to make sure, as I said earlier, that we are remaining open-minded and that we are including within our curriculum, within our teaching style, and even how we communicate with those around us, and even to our peer faculty members, that we are making sure that we uphold a standard of being inclusive of those who are constantly marginalized and who have been marginalized in the past. So I think it really rests heavy, not just on the administration for universities and institutions of higher learning, but it really lies within the hands of the students and the faculty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've spoken a lot about your mentors, your musical mentors. How would you recommend emerging artists and arts administrators seek out mentorships?
Well, attend concerts was one of the ways I used to do it, but of course we don't have concerts. But now with the advent of social media, you can reach out to people. Everyone's not approachable, but some people will respond eventually to your emails, to your messages in the query forms and their websites, on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. But also there are institutions that have mentoring programs around the country and around the world. And I'll tell you, and no one asked me to do this, but the Sphinx organization is a perfect way for you to find mentorship. There are very many programs and initiatives for you to plug in and get to know people and just talk to people. This year, we're having a virtual SphinxConnect gathering, but it's very interesting because we usually are able to go around and talk to people and sit and eat with people, and everyone is everyone's approachable and everyone's very open. So I'd admonish everyone who's interested in mentorship, even if you want to be the mentor and not just be the mentee, try to attend events when things open back up, and just talk to people, but text people, reach out to people, talk to professors at your school who you may not even study with, and speak to people. You never know who's connected to who, and you never know who needs you. Many times we are the answer to someone else's problem, and we don't ever realize that because we're too afraid or we're too stuck in our own circle or our own sheltered cave that we don't reach out. So open up the cave, open up the blinds, open up the window, step out of your comfort zone, because many times you can be the answer. That mentor that you need to be mentored by may need you, the mentee, because they may need you to assist them in organizing their library and helping them as a music copyist, and helping them listen when they're doing recording sessions. They may want you to come to the studio with the score and say, you know, the pedaling here was a certain way, or the bowing here could, you know, I heard this didn't come out clear. They just may need you around for encouragement. Never be afraid to ask. All they can say is no.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. What are some of the projects or initiatives you see happening in the classical music community right now that excite you?
I'm super excited about the fact that so many of my friends, like Lawrence Brownlee, Kenneth Overton, Karen Slack, Laquita Mitchell, those are just some of the people I'm naming. They started initiatives as I did. I had Damien Sneed Dialogues, where I interviewed people. My first one was with Titus Underwood, who received a Sphinx Medal of Excellence, a good friend of mine, oboist, Juilliard graduate, and also Janae Bridges. But these types of things allow people to peer into the world of the arts. Also, I'm noticing that a lot of opera companies have extended opportunities to people of color. I'm very proud of another Sphinx Medal of Excellence recipient, my friend Jessica Rodriguez, who is writing for orchestras and doing wonderful work. Carlos Simon, I can't begin to name the people that orchestras are beginning to hire, and opera companies. And there's so many opportunities, and colleges are hiring DEI personnel, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and people are having the conversation. That is what's most important. We cannot be afraid to have the conversation. We cannot be afraid to educate people. People may not have the right terminology and the right words and the right jargon to say, but as we talk about things, the speaking, the talking, the dialogue removes the walls of division, and it tears down the shackles that have kept us sort of frozen or enstoned, if you may say. So I think there's a lot of great initiatives that are coming forth. I'm excited about it, and I cannot wait until we can stop wearing masks and maybe everyone will be vaccinated or herd immunity, whatever they scientifically or medically think will work. But I cannot wait. I believe this is going to be one of the greatest revivals of music, one of the greatest Renaissance, even as the Harlem Renaissance was about 100 years ago, 101 years ago. I believe that we are going to see around the world, because this pandemic has brought us all to our knees. It's not just about America or about a certain status quo of your lifestyle, but every single person now is more connected. And because of this, the internet has really been the thriving force and the conduit of connectivity, the glue, have you. And I think we're going to see some of the greatest art that we've ever seen, not just from musicians, but from artists and writers. And I think it's just going to be amazing. I'm super excited and I look forward to it. I'm fortunate and glad to be alive in this season. I'm glad that I was chosen to be here. This is a very difficult time. It's been a very dark season for us. And I think those are some of the things that we're all going to be able to look forward to.
Yeah, with this being a dark season for all of us, how have you found inspiration?
I found inspiration by reading. I know you see a lot of books behind me, but a lot of books that I did not have a chance to read before, I had a chance to read them. I also found inspiration by resting. I took a long Sabbath. I rested. I slept hours upon hours during this pandemic. I bought a PlayStation 4 and beat all the games in 6 to 7 days, but that didn't work. But I found myself, and I also got a pandemic puppy, Dante. I have an East Shih Tzu. But I found myself trying to slow down and trying to find avenues of balance. And that has been the greatest inspiration to me during this time. Of course, I have not been able to see people, living alone here in New York City, but just taking the time to be grateful and to be thankful for the small things in life has been so inspirational, has been so revitalizing, has been so reviving, has been so filling, and it has propelled me forward.
Yeah. What's the single most significant musical moments in your life?
Wow. I think one of the moments that I think about is being able to record with Jessie Norman for her final recording 4 songs with her in Atlanta at Emory University. I've performed at Carnegie Hall many times, but I must say one that was most memorable was the commission that the Sphinx organization commissioned me to write, celebrating 400 years of slaves coming to America through the Middle Passage from 1619 to 2019, which featured the Sphinx virtuosi, Janae Bridges, and my friend Will Liverman, who's also a Sphinx Medal of Excellence winner. There was something different that night on the stage. It was a packed house from the orchestra seating all the way to each balcony. But there was something special in the air, realizing that as a person of color, to stand on that stage and realizing that we were given a place and a platform to musically honor and celebrate all of the ancestors that went through so much difficulty and so much pain to help build this country, but we were able to celebrate them. And it was a moment in which I found myself extremely proud, not for the moment that I had to perform at Carnegie Hall. I've done that many times, and not receiving a commission. I have many commissions, but it was the fact that we were able to stand there and sit when I was at the piano and allow music to be the hymn of celebration. It was just absolutely out of this world.
Yeah. With you working in, just so many, you play so well in kind of all genres.
Thank you, Rod. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. How does that all fit together kind of in your mind? And part 1 and part 2, do you feel equally at home in the classical world as you are in jazz and gospel and everything else?
It's funny, I was having a conversation with my mentor, Winton, about that last Sunday. I do feel comfortable in all of them. I have put in the time and the work over the years, where many of my peers were seemingly excelling a lot quicker because they were focusing on one area or 2 areas. I've sort of tried to brand myself, and I think I've done so successfully, to just be a musician, just a musician. As American music incorporates so many styles and genres. So whether it be jazz or popular music, or whether it be blues or gospel, or whether it be classical, whether it be special form of classical with opera, whether I'm accompanying someone, whether I'm conducting an orchestra, whether I'm conducting a chorus, I have the fluidity to express myself and hold to the integrity of each genre and each style. I'm not the best at what I do, but I do know that I have something to say. And I do know that I have a gift to communicate with people while performing. And that's what I focus on. And, you know, for me, I don't know. And I guess I'm a monogene in this way. Maybe it's a lot to call myself that, but I don't feel comfortable existing in one genre. I don't feel comfortable being one person, as people would want me to be. I remember years ago, I remember coming to New York City, and it's so interesting, like within a 2-week period, someone said to me, "You'll never do gospel music. You only do classical music. You know, you do highbrow music." Even recently, someone told me that my music is too highbrow. And I said, wow, that's interesting. And then I remember people telling me, you should just stick with gospel music. You'll never be accepted by the classical world. You'll never perform at Carnegie Hall. This is all within a 2-week period in New York when I first moved here. And then people told me, well, you can't do jazz music. You don't really know the language and the idiom. And then some people said, oh, you should just stick with jazz. You don't know anything about classical or gospel. So it's interesting how people have tried to place a barrier or imprison me with their thoughts, or maybe the proclivities of what they can and cannot do. But I've never allowed words to build me or to tear me down. I've had to learn to have an inner resilience. So for me, my mindset and my idea, my mantra is that I express myself through music. It does not matter the style of the genre. I cannot be controlled by commercial constructs that deal with the close of a fiscal season for some to give them a prize or an award based on their recording. Or I don't sit on one side because I dress however I want to dress, whether it be a tuxedo, whether I dress down. And I do understand that genres have an atypical jargon, way of speech, way of dress, things like that. But for me, it's just music. And I love to just express myself musically with my friends musically, no matter what form that expression is found embodying.
Excellent. So for those students perhaps that were traveling this orchestral career path and are now branching out to other musical possibilities, I mean, what would you say to them?
Well, I will say this: technique is extremely important. If I did not have a solid classical background, solid training, understanding and ear training, sight singing, music history, music theory, having an understanding of compositional structure, form and analysis, counterpoint, I would not be successful and able to pivot and shift in and out of different genres. It is from that honing and from that foundation, that platform, from which I'm able to pivot and shift. So I'd say to the students, continue to go forward. There's nothing that says that you have to existentially be one-dimensional. You should definitely continue in orchestra and do not allow a no to stop you. I've received so many no's in my life, in my career, and sometimes they knock you back a little bit, sometimes maybe even down. You can't stay down. And so for me, it's so refreshing, the times when I have just steadily continued to work towards a goal. And even after sometimes having someone say no 2 or 3 times, or an institution say no, they come back a different way. So I would say to those students to continue. For me, classical music is a passion of mine, but it was my start. A lot of people wonder, they think I started off playing by ear. I did not. I started off reading music. I was a very, very late bloomer when it came to playing by ear and using those skills to play within different genres. I grew up in the church, so I grew up playing at church, but I started off playing by reading music and in classical music.
Thank you. Last question. What's your ultimate dream for your career?
Well, during the pandemic, all of my dreams came to fruition, which is interesting. I moved to New York City to major in film scoring at NYU, and I did my first professional film for Alvin Ailey. It was supposed to be just a couple of musical excerpts for performance in the proscenium stage, but because of COVID, which looked like a bad thing, it actually shifted into a film. So I ended up having to score the entire film. And I would love to do more films and things like that. But for me at this point, because I've been fortunate and blessed to walk out so many of my musical goals, my desire now is to have the ability to make things happen for other people. I want to have a full storehouse, not just of information, but of resources, finances, money, to give to so many young girls and young boys, young children, and people who would love to have the opportunities that I've had, and help show them the way through my foundation, through all types of initiatives, scholarships. That's my desire, to help other people get to where they want to get to help other people, even for those that may be ones who people think nothing good will ever come from. But that's my goal at this point. As I continue to move forward and achieve and realize some of my dreams and goals, I want to make it happen for other people. I want to be the person to sign that check to say, here, you can go to college, you can go to this conservatory, here's $80,000. I want to be able to do that.
Amazing. Yeah. And I think you will be able to do that.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you so much for your time. Is there any final thoughts you want to share with our audience in this last minute that we have?
I'd just like to remind everyone, please, let's move together and move forward in unity. And Rod, I would love to share one more video. This video was created during the pandemic, actually, for the Sphinx organization's virtual gala. It features the amazing group, the Sphinx Virtuosi, also the choral group Exigence, conducted by another friend of mine, fellow Sphinx family member and Sphinx Medal of Excellence recipient, Dr. Eugene Rogers. And I'm also on piano. And it is a phenomenal arrangement of glory that so many people saw in the movie Selma. So I hope that this song, this video, will encourage us as we move ahead. Glory.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Whoa, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. Glory.
one day everybody's gonna see the glory. The glory is us united as one. Neither hate, ignorance, judgment, or guns can win this war against division and discrimination. Come on, can't you see the greatness that's in all of us? Especially when we give love, honor, and trust. So let's stop this abomination and start loving as one, giving as one, growing as one, being as one, caring as one. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking living as one.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be yours. It will be yours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. We will be sure. We'll cry glory. 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 We'll cry. We'll cry glory. We'll cry glory. Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won, but we'll fight on to the finish. And then when it's all done, now the war is not over. The war is not over. We gotta keep on fighting until the victory is won. The war is not over. We've gotta fight until the victory is won. Now the war is not over. We gotta keep on fighting. We gotta keep on striving. We gotta keep on dancing. We gotta keep on striving until the victory is won. Now the war is not over. We gotta fight until the victory is won. We'll cry glory, 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 glory. We'll cry glory. Keep on striving. We gotta keep on dancing. We gotta keep on striving until the victory is won. Now the war is over. We gotta fight until the victory is won.